What's up YouTube? It's your boy Crypto here and welcome to episode 3 of touring my fancy world Matriphy. So as you can see behind me, the map has grown a little bit and it will continue to grow as we do our tour. So last 2 episodes we did the north coast and the south coast of Matriphy, and in today's episode we're going to take a look at the Southern Empire and the Northern Empire. Not a crazy whole lot to show here, but definitely some stuff worth checking out. So we'll start with right here. This little arrow is where we're standing right now, and this is what I like to call the Southern Empire. This is kind of like the Midwest of the United States, with a lot of farmland, a lot of rural area. And the Northern Empire, I foresee it kind of just be like a foresty area, maybe like rural Washington or something like that. So without further ado, let's go to here. This province right here is called Wendelbeck. Like I said, it's probably like Nebraska or something like that, or has a lot of farmland and whatnot. And there's a couple ways we can get to it. So we can come down this way or we can come down this way. But I'll just go ahead and fly overhead to kind of show you both areas. So these are, to your left and to your right, are the two sort of roads that you could take that lead up to right here. And to our left will be the, both of these roads will kind of circle all of Wendelbeck. There's not a whole lot to show in Wendelbeck. I have a couple things. So we'll start with this little town here. This is called Shovelshire. This is kind of like you're like in between town, like you're going on the road, you need a rest stop, and that's kind of what this place is. So we have a house here, 2 houses here, and then right here is a little pub, just a teensy little pub. Go inside, bar tables and a bar and whatnot, and then over here, and now this is actually fun, the only town in this world I have with villagers in it. Don't know why. But obviously we have like the checkout counter here, and we, surprisingly, with this big of an inn, we only have 4 rooms. But they have 2 beds and they have nice amenities. So as we go out back here, we have our little stables we got going on for horses, and yeah, that's about it for Shovelshire. So we're gonna slowly but surely come along this way now. Very similarly to how Panthelon and Remerton have manors that kind of house like the senator or the leader, Wendelbeck has one too. It's this guy. It's not furnished yet. All it has is a bed, but this is like if like the senator or something like that once has a house. This is what that house is. I'm gonna go ahead and fly over here. There are 2 farms in here. I intend to add more. I just haven't gotten around to it because, like I said, I envision this being like the Nebraska or the Kansas of Matriphy, being just a bunch of farmland. So we got 2 of them. So we got this one right here. This was the first one, and right over here is the house that houses the people who work there. So I actually made this not knowing that you could actually go 4 blocks away from the source block as opposed to 3. So all of them have 3 blocks out from the source block. That's a nice little like wall design we got going on. Then I have this one over here that's actually 4 blocks out. We have the full gamut of stuff. We got, we have wheat, potatoes, carrots, beetroots, and sweet berries. So we got a large, big old farm here going on. That's pretty much it for Wendelbeck. We'll go ahead and fly over to kind of the more Midwest territory. Lots of little roads and whatnot connecting and stuff. There'll be 2 other things in this area. One of them is just an inn, kind of in the middle of what we got going on. I kind of foresaw it as like, oh, he's like traveling in the middle of nowhere. Oh, might as well put a little inn here. So that's what this one is. It has no name. A lot of these little inns and pubs have no names, but that's okay. So just a simple little inn. And then what we're gonna go to over here is a place called Vilverin. Vilverin is like a sort of like not a retirement community, but like a place where you go to like unwind basically. It's a very chill place. We got like a general store right here. The idea I had for this place was kind of like Flagstaff, Arizona, where it's very nice and chill. Vilverin pub. Lots of little dainty little houses. We got like a fishing house right here with a little dock, and what's the theme, guys? You know it by now. Storage is the key. So, all right, and obviously right here, this is the zoomed in map of Vilverin right here. Yeah, that's about it for the Southern Empire. Let's go ahead and jump cut over to the Northern Empire. Alright, so I'm going to show off the three entrances to the Northern Empire. This is the first one. This goes from the Matriphy North Coast to the Northern Empire. There's two others, which is right here. The border is kind of on this river. I have this coarse dirt kind of telling what the border is. This is entrance number 2, and as we fly over here, entrance number 3 is right here. And in Northern Empire, much like the Southern Empire, not too much going on. We have a lumber yard right here because I envision this being like where you get your wood for all the building and Matriphy and whatnot. This is kind of sort of the idea of it. So we got like a lumber yard with all the logs right here and the half-cut trees and whatnot. Lots of little connected roads going on, and this right here. So much like as we're talking about, sort of the senator or the people who run the place or are in charge of it have a house, and this is the house for the Northern Empire. Over here we have lots of little roads. So this area, honestly just a bunch of roads. I haven't got around to like populating it and whatnot. But just a bunch of little roads there. I got one last little thing, just a dainty little inn on the Northern Empire, and then we're gonna move on to the next area, which you will see in a second. Here is the inn. It's just a simple little inn. Just got, like I said, lots of inns with no names, just to come and rest from the road. Yeah, so that's about it for the Northern Empire. We're gonna go ahead and move on to a new area called Landervan. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut to that area. All right, here we are in Landervan. So this right here was the inn we were just at. So we cross this over here. This is Landervan, which is this guy right here. So the idea I have for this guy is, so I envision at the time of like whatever lore this is taking place at, it's not fully formed yet. So this is one of the provinces that's still being colonized, but they're having troubles because there are natives here, and that's this town right here. This is Covert. This town right here is where the natives are, and this town right here is where the settlers of Matriphy are, and they're kind of at war because the town of Covert does not want to assimilate into the Matriphy Empire, and they've been hard at it for a while now, and things are getting pretty rough. So you'll see here in a second. So this is, please don't bite me. I've used some of the names from other places. This is the city of Saffron. Don't bite me. Yeah, so we'll start with the exterior. So we got various watchtowers. This is a watchtower design that is carried on throughout pretty much all of Matriphy, and we have here this iron wall sort of like surrounding the city of Saffron, kind of like giving out the vibe that you guys don't want to come in and hurt our people. We don't want you to come in and hurt our people, and we got watchtowers to make sure you don't. So that's what we got going on, and on each of the signs going out it says, "You are now entering no man's land. Your safety is at risk." So that's that. So the city of Saffron, the kind of idea I had with the city of Saffron was kind of like an Oblivion city. So like Shadenhall, Coral, Bruma, the various cities in the game Oblivion. That's kind of what I had the idea of going on this here. It started with just the wall. So I just built this giant wall. Then I built this castle thing, which also was kind of inspired from Oblivion. So you walk in here, this is kind of where the count or the mayor or whatever sits. This right here is where they sleep, so this is like the count's quarters. Over here is kind of a grand dining hall. Then we go upstairs. This area, I think, is just kind of like a recreational sitting area. And then over here is like where the people who run the castle, their bedrooms and whatnot. So very much inspired from Oblivion. Oh, and then we have a roof. Forgot about that. We have a roof. So we'll go ahead and go on back down here. So I find my way back down and show off the rest of the town. So we'll go back to the entrance over here. We got four houses rather. This one, this one, this one, and this one. These are houses. We have a stables right here with a singular horse. And in here we have another inn. Always gotta have inns, pubs, theaters, and storage. So haven't populated this one yet. So yeah, there's that. And like I said, theater and storage is the key. So we got a little amphitheater right here to kind of do your stuff. And then this area kind of, I just made it like a little park just to kind of sit and chill. So we got little benches and whatnot you can sit and chill at. Kind of nice little fountain. I kind of utilized this ravine, just like a little bridge over it. We got a little water fountain in the center of town, and then got a little sitting areas. And then we have this pub right here, which is kind of a different design. Have a little triangular shape going on here. And yeah, so that's that pub. And then we have the swap meet, which is right here. This is the swap meet. Very big, very spacious, lots of activities to go on down here. This is the doctor's office, but this is sort of like it's a lot different than obviously there's nothing in here, but it's kind of, I designated this the doctor's office. It's a little different than the doctor's offices in Penflawn and Remberton, but since this is sort of like a newer town, I envision it just being a little smaller. You know the drill, storage is the key. We have here a guardhouse. So this is an archery table right here. Again, inspired by Oblivion. We got like sort of a dining room right here, and then just a simple bedroom. Because often in Oblivion, the guards would take refuge inside of the castle towers and whatnot. One last thing to cover. On the back here's another archery range. And then over here, we have various entrances out to the, or exits rather, out to the wilderness. We got one right here, one right here, one right here, going all the way right. Show it off to you. Right there. And then we have one last one over here. Yes, right here. One last one right here, going all the way over here. Now, let's go ahead and take a look into the no man's land and figure out why I put that sign. You'll see here in a second. So I'm gonna come here on foot. Obviously, we got a lot of destruction going on right off the bat. Now, when I started building this, I didn't really pay much attention to how much destruction I was doing. I wanted to give off like the idea of like, man, they're really struggling to not assimilate into Matriphy. But after I was done with it, it looked like fucking World War I came in. So you'll see here in a second. I guess we'll just play it off as they really don't want to assimilate into Matriphy. So here we are. Here's one part of no man's land. So you walk in and lots of destruction, fire and whatnot. And a lot of this was done with TNT right here, and lots of little things. This is like it's like World War I came in or something like that. And then we got over here a lot of burned trees. Even more no man's land going on here. Once again, these little spots I did with TNT and put little netherrack and put fire in to kind of give off that effect. So yeah, I don't know why they're so like I don't know what got into me to creating such a dark and crazy place. So yeah, that's the no man's land. Let's check out the natives area. Now, I will say in general, Landervan is not entirely finished. There is more I'd like to do with it, like add little outposts. We have one here for the natives. It's just a simple outpost. We got like a little house, whether it could be like storage or beds or not, and the meeting table. And then we go over here to the natives village, which again, this one I pulled out of my butt. I called it Kivlir. Kivlir, and with this one you can only be let in from the inside. There's no outside things. You can only be let in from the inside. Now the city of Kivlir, definitely a lot more I'd like to add to it. As you can see, it's kind of barren and whatnot, but I have some stuff. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 houses, and then I have here a little pub or eatery or whatever you want to call it. I have over here a dock and an armor shop, or armor shack rather, as a little ford right here. Then we're gonna fly on over here to sort of the Kivlir sort of master castle fort, whatever you want to call it. We got a dining hall over here, where the chair where the leader sits, and then the rest of these are pretty much just bedrooms. So we got bedroom of 2. Bedroom of 6, and then I think another bedroom of 6 upstairs. Yep. And then we have here a little balcony. And yeah. That's it for Landervan. I think we can squeeze one more little tour in. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a big reveal of the biggest map I have of Matriphy, so I'll cut right to it. Alright, so here we are at what is the grand map. So this is the zoomed out version of Matriphy. Like I said, keep in mind it's this. This is all of Matriphy. So, but I do have a completely zoomed in version, which is this. This took a long time to do. This is a completely zoomed in entirety map of Matriphy, the country. I even have it drawn out as a paint.net picture, which I'll put on screen now. I slowly but surely update it over time, and as I add more stuff to it. So as you can see here, we still got a lot to cover. Now, we have stuff here. This is mostly what we've been covering so far. We got stuff here. I'll get to this area. Then we got this area, this area, this area, and then we got this area. So, like I said, a lot to cover. So I think in the last bits of this episode, so let's summarize what we've got so far. This is Matriphy. This is the Southern Empire. This is the Northern Empire, and this is Landervan, which we just checked out. So I think the last thing we'll check out is this place called the Island of Edlin, which we'll go ahead and quickly teleport to real quick. Okay, so here we are. This is the Island of Edlin. We got the idea for this kind of place. I don't really have a set idea. I just wanted to make a simple little... I saw that there was this island fixture just off the coast of Matriphy that I kind of wanted to populate. No real big thought into this one, and I don't even know if I'm completely done with it, to be honest. But, you know, it's something. So we got here this little port with a customs, because like I said, this is a port of entry to the country of Matriphy. We got here two houses. Actually, yeah, three. We got 3 houses. We got a stables, and then we got an inn. This guy, have I populated the inn? I want to see. That is a negative, Captain. I might have to take some time to populate the inns I have in here. Got a stables. We got a pub and bar, whatever you want to call it. And then we got a farm that, like I said before, I built this not knowing you could go out 4 blocks as opposed to 3. So forgive me. We have here another doctor's office that, much like Penthalon and Remberton, look very similar, with the operating tables and whatnot. And then the last couple things we got going on here, this actually was built by Austin, who changes his name a lot. But yeah, he hopped into this world and wanted to build something, so this is what he built. Just a simple little town with a little house with a little bunk bed. So pretty sweet. Then I have here an arena. I don't foresee this being this is more like a practice arena as opposed to an arena. Well, actually, no, maybe there'll be events and whatnot. I don't know. I just wanted to build another arena, so it only has 2 entrances as opposed to 4. And we got a little stables right here, and that's about it for the Island of Edlin. I'm gonna go ahead and come real quick to the grand map. So this is this ends episode number 3 of exploring my world Matriphy. As you can see from behind me, I have single-handedly created a map for this entirety of this country that I am so eager to show off to every one of you. This world, I don't know if it'll ever be done. I've been hard at work at it for like 3 years, and I may even start a new country, who knows. Yeah. So if you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a dislike. If your feelings go beyond that, leave a comment down below. But as always, it's been your boy Crypto, aka Griffin Soroki, signing off. Peace.